Welcome to TzuChi This Week. I'm Li Wei-Tai. It's good to have you with us. In today's headlines, May is TzuChi's month of Thanksgiving, and all over the world in TzuChi chapters, celebrations are ongoing, beginning with the Buddha Day festivities. TzuChi's fourth mission, the mission of humanity, focuses on spreading the message of love through the mass media. In the continuation of our featured series on TzuChi's media outlets, we look at its scope and its influence on the viewers. And in the United States, California's renowned cable TV station, KTSF, makes a donation to TzuChi for Japan's earthquake relief. Over the past week, Dai TV provided full coverage of the May 8th Buddha Day ceremonies from around the world, which celebrated Buddha's birthday, Mother's Day, and Global TzuChi Day. We begin with the celebrations in Lesotho, the landlocked African country, where TzuChi volunteers organized a special ceremony for the residents of a village that received TzuChi's corn seeds. In South Africa, participants at the Buddha Day service in Cape Town enjoyed a preview of this year's Water Repentance Sign Language musical. And in Johannesburg, a Buddha Day ceremony was held at a busy flea market, while some 300 kilometers away in Ladysmith, TzuChi volunteers decided to share the joy of the occasion with teachers and students at the TzuChi No. 1 primary school. In Ladysmith, South Africa, the school courtyard is packed with teachers and students from all grades. Outside the premise, community residents gather with anticipation for TzuChi's Buddha Day ceremony. This is TzuChi's first elementary school in town. The huge courtyard could hold a maximum of 3,000 people, but parents and neighbors flocked to the ceremony, pushing the audience to nearly 4,200 people. For many years, TzuChi has been working to empower local communities. With gratitude, many of the locals, none of whom are Buddhists, come to honor Buddha's birthday.
With great joy that Buddha was once walking amongst us.
Meanwhile, in Johannesburg's Bruma Flea Market, the entrance fee is waived for the day to make TzuChi's Buddha Day celebration accessible for all. A stately pavilion is set up for the ritual. Participants of various ethnicities take out a moment to enjoy the unique Buddhist service that gives thanks to all living beings. On the southernmost tip of Africa, Cape Town TzuChi volunteers and community residents observe Buddha's birthday with a collective prayer. On stage, volunteers perform the sign language for water repentance with beautiful rhythm and synchronization that wows the audience. In the landlocked country of Lesotho, also in South Africa, Matsukeng's residents cheer as they welcome TzuChi volunteers who have been a great support to the people since the aid distribution of corn seeds 3 years ago. A Buddha Day ceremony is being held for the first time in this poor village. Volunteers, both from Taiwan and Lesotho, as well as nearly 1,000 villagers, celebrate this special day with love and goodwill in their hearts. The tri-celebrations on May 8th were held across the world, with the first one commenced at the Jingsi Hall in Hualien, Taiwan at 7 a.m. local time. More than 3,000 people attended the celebration, with community residents, civil servants, and the TzuChi Foundation staff. The commemoration lasted an hour, with 3 Buddha bathing altars representing the Buddhist pursuits of discipline, meditation, and wisdom. 18 nuns from the Jingsi abode march out of Hualien's Jingsi Hall, their steps synchronized. With grace and solemnity, they lead participants in a metaphorical pursuit of the wisdom of the Enlightened One.
虔诚发愿，追随佛陀悲智，深入法华精神，发无上菩提心，走慈济人间路。
number 45 was prominent at the ceremony, marking TzuChi's 45th anniversary. The lotus totems symbolize the possibility of paradise on earth.
供灯烛，赞扬三宝。
The round Buddha bathing altar represents the purifying power of the Dharma that flows around the world in a circle.
花香，浴佛开始，礼佛祖。
The global TzuChi Buddha Day ceremony kicks off in Hualien, Taiwan, ahead of festivities in 30 countries. Around 220,000 people are expected to take part in the worldwide observance of the Buddha Day, which honors love, compassion, and enlightenment. The biggest TzuChi Buddha Day ceremony this year took place in Taipei at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, attracting some 30,000 people. Taiwan's President Ma Ying-jeou and Premier Aduan also graced the event. Led by Dharma masters, participants prayed for a world free from disasters. Mother's Day, Buddha Day, and Global TzuChi Day, Sunday, May 8th, is a day when all three holidays are celebrated in a mass ceremony at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall in Taipei.
礼佛祖
30,000 participants are united in piety, devotion, and well wishes for the world. Taiwan's President Ma Ying-jeou, Premier Aduan and other government officials graced the ceremony, joining in the collective prayer.
供花香。
The event is made more special as TzuChi celebrates its 45th anniversary this year. Volunteers, police officers, firefighters, and coast guards stand in unison as they pull their love together.
To go about completing the great repentance, we need to follow the Master's way and understand that even though natural disasters are unavoidable, anyone can make a difference, starting with themselves. We have to walk the walk too and implement the change immediately in our daily actions.
The ritual of Buddha bathing seeks to bring about self-examination and in the process help one nurture gratitude towards all living beings. It is hoped that more and more people can foster love and compassion to make the world a safe haven for all. Continuing on the topic of Buddha Day, in the next special reports we compiled Buddha Day news from countries in South and Central America, as well as the Caribbean. Whether it was in the Dominican Republic, Guatemala, or further down in Paraguay, Argentina, and Chile, TzuChi volunteers and local residents all came together to give their blessings to the special day. The Buddha Day ceremony in South America's Chile is small but charming. Here in Lo Prado City, both Taiwanese and the Chilean volunteers combined their efforts to help make the Buddha bathing experience a memorable one for the 500 predominantly Catholic attendees. As entrance into the hall is not wheelchair friendly, volunteers help carry disabled people down the stairs. At the end of the ceremony, winter aid distribution is held as the volunteers wait to thank the participants for giving them the chance to share the Buddhist tradition with the people of Chile. In neighboring Argentina, this crowd at the Overseas Taiwanese Center is in high spirits. Having tied the knots just the day before, newlyweds Zhang Xinlan and Liu Zhongyu are here to take part in the Buddha Day ceremony and are showered with congratulations and blessings.
I want to thank Master Zeng Yan for her blessings. We're deeply moved and grateful for the well wishes from the volunteers.
Community residents of all ages, the new Taiwanese representative to Argentina, and delegates of other Buddhist organizations are all here to join the stately celebration. Days of planning and preparation have resulted in a beautiful ceremony. Volunteers also take to the stage to share their stories of personal transformation, adding a human touch to the solemn commemoration of the Enlightened One. Further north in Paraguay, the Buddha Day service in Ascension is unique in that local volunteers outnumber their Chinese counterparts and participants from the Chinese community combined. The MC conducts the ceremony by alternating between Chinese and Spanish. However, many still miss their cue. Even though the ceremonial march saw some harmless chaos, it is evident that every single Paraguayan volunteer is sincere in their learning of the Buddhist practice. Meanwhile, in Ciudad del Este, almost the entire Chinese community has shown up at the Buddha bathing ceremony. They may be far from Taiwan, but they hope to emulate the Buddha Day festivities throughout their homeland. Off the main South American continent and located in the Caribbean is the Dominican Republic, where TzuChi volunteers and local residents celebrate the birth of Buddha. Children, who are about as tall as the altar, stand on the tip of their toes as they offer their respect to the Buddha.
I am delighted to be here to witness such a dignified ceremony that marks such a special day for Buddhists. I'm extremely surprised to learn that TzuChi has been doing charity work in the Dominican Republic and has even built a school in La Romana. It's very inspiring.
As for the Buddha Day celebrations in Guatemala, attendees from a host of faiths and cultural backgrounds come together to share in the joy to remember the great spiritual teacher. Over to the Philippines, the weekend of May 8th, Tropical Storm Eri brought heavy wind and rain to the country. However, despite the unexpected stormy weather, nearly 2,000 people, including TzuChi volunteers, foundation staff and local residents, continued on with the annual Buddha Day ceremony.
Despite the heavy rain from Typhoon Ari, Philippines TzuChi volunteers continue with the Buddha bathing ceremony and managed to display a sense of solemn beauty in the process.
May our world be free of disaster.
I already decided that I'm going to come, so I never thought of leaving.
The Buddha bathing ceremony is held at TzuChi's chapter grounds and nearly 2,000 people arrived to participate, including Marikina volunteers. Volunteers, participants and foundation staff come together to sincerely chant Buddha scriptures.
Make 3 bow to the Buddha. First bow. Second bow. 大众开始浴佛，供花香，礼佛祖，祝福吉祥。
As the participants pray earnestly for a world free of disasters, the rain gradually stops.
We remained very faithful all the way up to the end of the ceremony, so the rain stopped. I think I can say if we're all simple-minded, there will be fewer disasters in the world.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness.
It's the first time na ganito kalakas yung ulan and biglang sobrang daming changes. One thing that made me happy was the people stayed. I think it's because even though our weather is so it's very bad, but then I think people are very thankful and they are happy.
United as one, Philippines TzuChi volunteers are all relishing in Dharma joy.
Over the years, TzuChi's work in the media has gone from printed news to reach the media of radio, TV, and the internet. In the United States, for example, one cable station plays an hour of Da'ai programming per day. The show has a devoted following among the Chinese-speaking community in California, where it is broadcast. And in Indonesia, Da'ai TV Indonesia has produced many popular programs watched by all people of all creeds. Da'ai TV also now makes its news available online, giving people worldwide an even easier way to find their daily inspiration in TzuChi's stories of love and compassion.
2011年民国百年元旦是大爱台13周年庆。
Using a magnifying glass to read her TzuChi monthly, 28-year-old Liang Xueli is blind in one eye and only has 5% vision left in the other. Despite the effort it takes her, Liang is a devoted reader of TzuChi monthly.
Every day I'll find 30 minutes or an hour to read it. It is part of my daily schedule.
Liang also uses her computer to watch Da'ai TV.
Every morning I will for sure watch Wisdom at Dawn, as well as in-depth news report with TzuChi. At night, I usually watch Life's Wisdom. If I don't have the time at night, I will watch it the next morning. The Dharma that the Master speaks is my daily dose of wisdom.
Liang's vision started to fail when she was 18 years old. She has come to accept that fact since coming to TzuChi and learning of the law of cause and effect.
The conditions that I have to face in this life are the results of the karma produced in past lives. So I treasure each opportunity to give, because I don't know how much longer I will have before my vision goes completely. So whatever I can, I take every opportunity to do it.
In their determination to be able to watch Da'ai TV, this volunteer couple living in France has moved 3 times.
We used to live in an apartment building in Paris, but there was no way to install a satellite dish there, so we moved. The next place we installed one, but after a month we were asked to take it down.
Getting their Dharma nourishment daily from Da'ai, the couple leads the local community in keeping the streets clean and in recycling. In the United States, the cable station KTSF broadcasts a 1-hour segment of Da'ai programs daily. It also carries donation drive announcements on behalf of TzuChi in San Francisco and the Silicon Valley.
But what we've seen with TzuChi is that virtually all the money goes right to where it's needed. You know, when people are paying their own way to get to someplace, I think that's really impressive.
In Indonesia, Da'ai TV Indonesia broadcasts the popular series that follows the life of a man named Parakan. Based on actual events, the story follows the life of Parakan who, although poor, gives everything he has in order to educate disabled students. The series has been a hit with audience all over Indonesia and is another example of how, since August 2008, Da'ai Indonesia has been continually overcoming religious divisions with its programming.
Hearing the voice of Sister Tsuyun on the radio calms me down. In Taichung, there was a prisoner who donated stamps. I said to myself, if he can do it, then I certainly can.
From this realization, Huang Zhizhong began dedicating part of his life to helping others.
These days, everyone is anxious. We like to say that we make available for everyone a correct way of thinking and seeing.
In December of 2006, the UN headquarters in New York held a photo exhibition in which more than 80 of the exhibits came from TzuChi's very own Rhythms Monthly magazine. Several of these photos would later be chosen as the themes for UN commemorative stamps. From pictures to words to images to voices, TzuChi continues to offer the citizens of the world hope and peace, as well as giving them the tools and power to transform themselves and their world. KTSF, the cable station mentioned in the previous story, has been for the past 9 years or so broadcasting Da'ai TV shows for an hour each day. With a deep understanding of the scope of TzuChi's charity work, KTSF recently decided to give to the NGO all the donations the station has raised for Japan's earthquake victims.
On behalf of all of us at KTSF, thank you very much.
California's cable TV station KTSF is entrusting TzuChi with money donated to Japan.
A few reasons why we chose TzuChi as a recipient for the for the earthquake relief efforts we put on here. We know that the vast majority of the money that's donated goes directly to the cause, and that's really important to us.
KTSF's manager happily makes a donation knowing that TzuChi will maximize the use of the funds down to the last penny. For nearly 10 years now, the channel has been broadcasting a 1-hour segment of Dai shows every day as a way to show its support for the Taiwanese NGO.
On this day, the 14th of May, British scientist Edward Jenner noticed that milkmaids with cowpox generally did not get smallpox. On this day in 1796, Jenner inoculated the pus from the cowpox blisters of a milkmaid into an 8-year-old boy and confirmed it had an immunizing effect. Through a worldwide smallpox vaccination program, the World Health Organization eradicated the disease in the late 1970s. Edward Jenner is known for his discovery of the smallpox vaccination and is also known as the father of immunology. On this day in 1994, in Shilin district of Taipei City, Taiwan, the walls and steel frames inside a 13-year-old set of houses were found to have corroded. After some assessment, it was confirmed that the houses were built partially with sand. It was also the first community found to have structures constructed with illegal materials and underwent reconstruction, which was completed in 2001. On this day in 1998, Taiwan's Department of Health announced the 10 major causes of death for the previous year, with cancer as the leading cause of death. It was the first year that suicide was among the top 10 causes of death. Suicide remained among the top 10 until 2009. The high suicide rate is an indicator of pressure faced in Taiwanese society.
全球慈济人在这里以赞扬三宝之歌，礼敬诸佛。
In 1999, Taiwan officially made the 8th day of the 4th lunar calendar month, the Buddha's birthday, a national public holiday. The following year, to celebrate TzuChi's 34th birthday and Taiwan's first Buddha Day, the first Buddha bathing ceremony was held in Hualien's Jingsi Hall. Over 1,000 people attended, and the day has since become an annual festive event on the TzuChi calendar. New Zealand's TzuChi chapter worked with the Refugee Service, also known as RMS, to help refugees from Iraq, Pakistan and Afghanistan resettle in new environments. On this day in 2005, TzuChi volunteers held the first tea party for refugees and also handed out relief items to help them rebuild their lives.
At the end of the show, we go to Hualien in Malaysia's Selangor, where TzuChi opened its 53rd Jingsi Boxing Cafe in the world. The opening took place on May 8th in concert with the Buddha Day ceremony. That's all we have time for today. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.